Okay, today we're going to learn halacha concerning hatzalah. We should not need that to call hatzalah, but if you need to call on Shabbos, there's some halacha that's good to know. It might be some nafkamina lamaisa, a very practical halacha. So the Gemara, the Mishnah in Yuma, Daf Pei Gimel, the Mishnah is like this: Odamar Maser ben Chorosh, Hachoishesh begroinloid. If somebody has, he feels pain in his throat. There could be an infection, or probably talks about an infection over here. Matilin lo som b'sechpiv b'Shabbos. You can give him medication on Shabbos. Nipneshu sofek nefoshes. It's a pikuach nefesh because it could travel further in and could harm him. The whole sofek nefoshes doiches Shabbos. Anything sofek, even not only vaday sofek pikuach nefesh. Sofek, maybe it could be pikuach nefesh. It's doiches Shabbos. That's what the Mishnah Daf Pei Gimel. Now the Gemara on this Mishnah and Daf Pei Dalet on the base, the Gemara is like this: When oisim dvorim alolo, lo ale de nochrim, lo ale de kutim, and some gis lo ale de ktanim, ele de gdoile Yisrael. Look how this Indian, it's a machlokes mamash meaning gdoile Yisrael, meaning somebody adraba is in the room, a big Rosh Yeshiva, tell him he should call, he should do things that, or mean gdoile Yisrael, not ktanim. Either way, meaning you don't give this job to do to somebody. Oh, he's a kotan, let him do it. He's a goy, let him know. You do it. And it says many reasons why. Because if people are going to see you hesitant to do over here with Bevokam Atzoyrech for Pikuach Nefesh Chilul Shabbos, they're going to think it's only B'di'ev, not the next time they're going to delay it. That's why Adarabah, the Gedolim should do it. When Omerim Yasu Dun Allah Allah the Noshim the Kutim, yeah. Anyway, so that's more or less. So the mitzvah is to do it. Even there is a goy over here. L'choira, you let the Jew do this. According to this, would be going to this. If you have in town. Most places in the world, civilized places, you call 911 and you could have an ambulance coming and helping you, or you could call hatzalah. That's usually the private ambulance for the Jewish communities. And so l'choira, according to this, it says you have to adrabah. There's an Indian to call Eid, even though it's available. A goyish ambulance, you call Eid because it says lo yisem ad nochrim el adei gedolei Yisrael. So
ambulance is only in Oak Park, not Southfield.
Okay, you're talking about specifically, I'm going to talk about it too. I didn't want to speak about Oak Park, South Hill. I didn't want to get into, it might turn to politics. I didn't want to do that. So I'm talking about now generally all over. By the way, some communities don't have hatzalah. Some communities just rely on the regular 911. So if you do have hatzalah and you have called regular, mashma from here, from this halacha, you call the hatzalah because adrabah, it's a mitzvah for them to do it. So here's what it brought in Tur and Shulchan Aruch. V'en oisim adoy de ktanim. The kutim, the noshim, the gdoile Israel, the cholazori, the reza meshubach. Adrabah, whoever could come quicker, even though it's a Eid, it's a meshubach mufakhin pikuach nefesh b'Shabbos. When circle little rishus mebezdin, that we already learned about in the previous shiur. People have to go this shin chavches. People have to go and know this halachas. There's a lot of details over here. V'chol hamagdim latil nefesh reza meshubach. Yeah, and Adrabah says, whoever asks a question, it's a shoifech domim. It's meguna. It's not right. Why didn't you know this? It's a davar aposhut. When it's pikuach nefesh, when it's pikuach nefesh involved, you have to do whatever you could do, and the quicker you could do it to save a life, not even Adrabah, Davka, it's preferable to do it through Eid. Okay, so that's the pashtus halachim. However, as always, we have a lot of different opinions over here. So the Ramah brings over here. We'll talk about previous shiur. Do you have to make a shinui or not? So according to the Rambam, you don't have to make any shinui. There's no need. You could do the way you do things normally. The Ramban said, if you could make a shinui, you should make a shinui. That's like most poskim agree with that. If it's not going to cause any delay, any harm, it could be the same way for the same price. If you could make a shinui, you could make a shinui. Now, what about if you could, for the same price, you could call a goy to do it? The whole chashash, that they're going to take maybe longer time through a goy. You call a Eid to do it. Go be quicker. What about if you have a goy over here? He could do the whole thing for you. That's better to call a goy or not. So the end of this Shin Chav Ches, the Darche Moshe, at the end of this chapter, he brings like this: Miu kamudumali, shenoagen kedivrei Ravio, the chol hechad efshar ba'akum b'li shiui. The Rama brings the shit of the Rabbi, the shit of Shilta Giborim, and many other Rishonim, the Orzerua, that if it's available the service to save somebody's life over here, to help him to get to the hospital, or to help him with his medical condition through a goy without any delay, better to call a goy. That's what the Rama brings, and that's la halacha also like this. So here's the Mechaber says: "K'shemachalin Shabbos al choyle shesh bo sakona mishtaden shlo azas al akum." Adrabah, they try not to call a goy if you could have a Jew. Adrabah, better call a Jew. Yeah. The Rama says, "V'yesh omrim." Again, that's the Orzerua, the Ravia, Shulta Giborim. Dim efshar la'asas below dichuy below ichur al yedei shinui. So the more you could do shinui or through a goy, or you started the shinui. If you could do through a goy the same service without any delay, the lashon of the Ramah, that's the minhag, he says. So that's the toisvus over there. The toisvus.
What does that mean? What was the last thing you said?
If there is a chashash, that's by calling a regular ambulance or calling another goy to help you, it might delay, it might cost a shayla because the whole thing is doing the koach. Now then you don't even throw it, and that's the lashon of the toisvus. Look at the Gemara in Yuma that says that you do this.
There's no nafkamina on delay.
I'm sorry.
There's no nafkamina on delay.
Oh, so the Ramah Mashma.
It's called ravish, but it's not nafkamina delay.
Right. So the Ramah Mashma, then you should call a goy. If it's the same thing for the same price, call it. That's not all the a lot of poskim disagree with the Ramah, but that's he relies, like I said, on many Rishonim. If it's for the same price, then you could call a goy. Now, look at what the Mishnah says. And by the way, the Aruch HaShulchan questions this. How could the Ramah go? It's against Gemara. It says clearly. Then oisim dvarim v'layed nochrim v'layed ktanim. So how could you say no? If you have it, it says no. Elamai, you could say the pshat over there when by through Eid is going to be quicker than you do that. If it's the same price, you go to a goy. So that's what the Tosfos says.
Is there anywhere that talks about the idea that a Yid is going to do a better job because it's
Yeah, they say that. They say that. Once, let me read this out. I'm gonna go to. There's the whole thing I'm learning today. It's like this. Here's what the Tosfos says. And Daf Pei Dalet Yumot Pei Dalet base. Va'afilu echad efshar benochri. Even though for the same price you could do through a goy, mitzvah by Yisrael. Why? That's what he says. Shema yisatzel anochri v'lo yasav yavod sakona. Because a Yid is, by the way, historically we proved that. We have a lot more value to Chaya Nefesh. We're more careful with that. And maybe the guy going to say he's going to take his time or he's not going to be so careful. It could bring to Sakonas Nefesh. That's why Lechatchila you call a Yid, because that's probably, and by the way, on a practical level, in most places, they have hatzalah usually a lot quicker. That's known fact. They're a lot quicker than the regular.
Sometimes call hatzalah.
What?
And the guy sometimes call that.
Right. Okay, it's like this. So the Ramos says if the same price you do that. Okay, so like this. A lot of Rishonim agree that you call always Israel. Some Rishonim says when the same price, if there's no chashash delay, which is I'm going to tell you the halacha lemafkmina lemaise. You call a goy. The Taz when the Ramos says v'chen no yihagim that you call a goy if it's the same thing, it's not going to. By calling a goy, it's no chashash sakona. Then you call a goy. The Taz says v'af shekosav Ramo v'chen no yagim and mizeraya delom minag vasikinu. The Taz has a whole arichos. He disagrees with the Ramo. He says no. He says no. It's not a minag that you can say it's minag Yisrael. No. Adrabah he says better to call Eid, even though there's a goy available. And the same thing again. So we have the Ramah says when there's no chashash, when you call regular goyish service, it's no chashash sakonas navosh. You could call them. You should call them. The Taz disagree with him. So with the Ramah is Talmud the Levush masking with the Ramah. That's the lashon of the Levush. V'yesh omrim dim efshar la'aseh below dichu below ichur al yedei shinoi ois. Meaning, wherever you could make it easier halachically, not to mechal Shabbos, when you make a shinui or there's no delay, you could call if you call a goy, there's no delay, you should do it through a goy. The ikul, yeah. V'im efshar la'aseh below ichur v'ikul the goyim below isur klal oisem the goy v'chen no yhagim. Aval b'mokim, he said what the Rama says. If there is a chashash yoch yitzatzel goy, then you go. So mashma there's a whole a list of rishonim and achronim. They say you always call a Jew if there is a Jew available to do it. Some even though the goy could do for the same price, for the same time, it seems not we call Eid we're relying more, he'll do a better job, a quicker job. Ramah, and relying on many Rishonim, he's saying, and something the Levush masking with his Rebbe, the Ramah, that if the minhag says if it's for the same price, if it's the same outcome, you call a goy. Now the Elia Rabbah disagrees with the Levush, and so we have over here the Shulchan Aruch, we have the Taz, we have the Elia Rabbah, that even there's a goyish service available, the same equal service, you call a Yid. You call, according to this, you first call hatzalah. Now, halacha l'maaseh, with these opinions, also masking the Aruch HaShulchan, the Mishnah Berurah goes very, very careful between the two opinions. That's the lashon of the Mishnah Berurah. He says like this: V'lochen, im yesh afilu sofek hatzalah, v'yesh sakona beveirur, by calling a goy, there is a chashash. It could be sakona. It could be going to take a longer time. Or kol hazor is reza meshubach. So according to him, if 100% is the service is the same, according to Mishnah Berurah, he must give the Ramah. Then you call a goyish service. If it's 100%, that's the very reliable service in town. The emergency service comes right away. They do the right job. There's no discrimination. Then according to Mishnah Berurah. However, the Alter Rebbe over here also follows the Taz and the other Rishonim that b'lechatchila you should call Aid, even though the goy is the same thing. Not it doesn't follow the Ramah. Here's the lashon of the Alter Rebbe. Avol toiv shlo nida ken. The meaning of the Ramah. Why? Ki yesh chashash. Shema yiru achshov. There's another reason for it. Besides that safety, the Jew might do a better job. Ki yesh chashash. Shema yiru achshov she'en oisim rak al yedei nochri. People are going to see the people or the rabbi call the goy to do this. Yizbaru, they're going to think sheyesh isur bazeh. It's not so posh to do with the Eid. Why they call a goy? Sometimes a goy service is not available. Meaning lost it lovely for future. People might do a mistake, and when there is no goy available, they're going to take their time to find the help, and it's going to become sakona. If let's say the goy is available, he's in the shul, somebody you know, he's going to do a good job, and you're giving it to him, he says, Yigalel Rabim. That's from the Taz. That's the Alter Rebbe quotes the Taz of it. Yigalel Rabim boisupom sheyesh heter l'Yisrael atzva l'shanochri muzum kam. Even you do that, you hire a goyish service. Tell everybody you're allowed to call Eid. He's available. I'm giving. These people should know, not make a mistake. So here's the word nafkamina la'alocha comes over here. In some places, the hatzalah are very, very advanced. They could do a lot of stuff. They're going to constantly the courses, and in some cities in different communities, they could do no less than any other ambulance, if not more. They could take you with the ambulance. So over there, and the statistic shows they come a lot quicker. Somebody just told me he was in Toronto. He said they had to call legally also that the ambulance hatzalah came within a few minutes and 2-3 minutes, he says, and the ambulance 911 took 40 minutes to come. So, and it shows all over that hatzalah is very, very efficient. They come quick. Definitely you should call hatzalah. Now in some places, in some communities, I'm not telling you names of communities, do you call hatzalah? First they come, and some of them are not so advanced. Sometimes they can't even take you to the hospital. They say, "Oh, you should call 911." Okay, I could have called 911 from the beginning. I made a more chilul Shabbos of you for no reason. So it's like this. You have to know, that's the call already. You have to know what is the nature of the problem. If it's something like the minutes don't count, meaning you have to go to the hospital for help. But if you come another half hour, nothing can happen to him. So call the chatchila 911. It's not if. It's the minute counts, and the hatzalah could help you by coming early, and you call hatzalah. But like I said, in some places they even cannot take you to the hospital when you need the help, and you need to get to the hospital. Better lechatchila call 911. So again, use your common sense after knowing this halachas. When should you call hatzalah? In most, like I say, in most communities, the hatzalah is very advanced. They can do a lot of services over there. You should definitely call them. They're going to come first according to most poskim. And if the community, the hatzalah and the regular are the same, it's already machlokas, the levush, the Ramah, and one team, the Mishnah Berurah looks like he's masking with them, and then you have all the other Rishonim v'acharim said no, call anyway hatzalah, call anyway a Jew, and if they cannot help you anyway, they're going to tell you at the end you need to call 911 to get to the hospital. So why don't you call lechatchila to them? So I'm saying it's good to know those halachas, and according to this, you could make your decision.